Be honest with yourself for a moment. There's someone you're not speaking to anymore. No calls, no texts, no messages. Yet their name keeps circling in your mind like it never left. Their face shows up in your thoughts at the most unexpected moments. You try to distract yourself, bury yourself in work, talk to other people, but somehow, without any effort, they quietly return. They live in your mind, even though they're no longer in your life. And it's confusing, isn't it? A part of you wonders, if I still think about them this much, does that mean Allah wants them in my destiny? Another part whispers back, or is this just me? Just my heart refusing to accept what's over? The longer it continues, the heavier it feels. Because you're stuck between two possibilities. Is this a sign? Or is this a test? So what does it actually mean when someone stays in your thoughts, even without communication, explanation, or closure? The truth is, the human heart is fragile. It holds on to people long after conversations end. Sometimes it's because the story never truly closed. Maybe a proposal was discussed but never completed. Maybe a bond ended without clarity. Maybe someone walked away without giving you the why. Unfinished chapters always echo the loudest. Other times, it's the small reminders that pull them back. Passing by a street you once visited together, hearing their favorite song out of nowhere, seeing a random object that brings a memory rushing back. Even a quiet moment in your room can take you straight to the past. Why does it happen? Because hearts don't move on like computers deleting files. When you've cared for someone deeply, your mind replays them again and again, especially in silence. And then the confusion begins. You ask yourself, if they're still on my mind, is Allah guiding me toward them? Or am I just emotionally attached to the idea of them? Is this a sign? Or is this just my nafs? Sometimes when a person keeps returning to your thoughts, it's not Allah sending a message. It's your heart trying to heal, your mind trying to understand, your emotions trying to make sense of what feels unfinished. Not every thought is a sign. Not every memory is a message. Sometimes it's just your nafs holding on to what your life has already let go of. It's simply your own heart holding on. Our nafs loves to replay what it once desired, even when it's over. Think about it. If you once hoped for someone, your mind replays their image, the way your heart replays the dream. Not because it's written, but because it was once wanted. And when something ends without closure, when no real goodbye was given, the mind hates loose ends. It circles back again and again, as it can finish what was left undone. Other times, it's pure imagination. You start wondering, what if things had gone differently? What if we had tried harder? What if Allah really meant it to be? And those what-ifs don't mean it's codger. They mean your mind hasn't made peace with the reality yet. And the danger here is that these thoughts can distract you. They can freeze you in place, keeping you tied to the past while life keeps moving forward. But at the same time, not every thought is from your nafs. Sometimes, Allah does place someone in your heart for a reason. Allah's wisdom. But sometimes, it isn't just your nafs. Sometimes Allah Himself places a person in your heart, and it's not always for the reason you think. It could be to push you closer to Him. A name lingers in your thoughts, so that you make dua, so that you seek guidance through istikhara, so that you don't rush blindly, but turn your confusion into worship. Other times, it's a test. Allah allows that person to stay. Not so you chase them, but so you learn where your heart really rests. Do you let the thought consume you, or do you hand it back to Him with trust? And sometimes it's preparation. Allah may place someone in your heart as a way of softening you, teaching you sober, or shaping you before the right time comes. Even if that person was never meant to stay. The Prophet ﷺ told us, The hearts of all people are between the fingers of the most merciful. He directs them as He wills. Your heart isn't wandering on its own. Even its attachments are under Allah's control. So yes, sometimes a person in your thoughts is more than just memory. But how do you know if it's really Allah guiding you, or just your own heart holding on? The balance, obsession versus guidance. Not every thought of someone is the same. Sometimes it's obsession, and sometimes it's guidance. And the difference between the two can change everything. Obsession pulls you away from Allah. You notice it when your thoughts about them make your salah shallow, your Quran harder to focus on, your heart heavy. It's the kind of thought that eats your time and leaves you with guilt afterward. That's not guidance. That's your nafs holding you hostage. But guidance feels different when Allah places someone in your heart. The thought doesn't drown you. It redirects you. It makes you whisper dua in the middle of the night. It pushes you to pray istikhara instead of chasing your imagination. It doesn't paralyze you. It humbles you. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Consult your heart. Righteousness is what brings tranquility to the soul, and sin is what wavers in the heart." Musnad Ahmad. That's the test. If the thought leaves you uneasy, unsettled, distant from Allah, it's not from Him. But if it brings calmness, patience, and a turn toward Him, then maybe it's more than just your nafs. And this is why Islam gave us a way to handle these thoughts, not by chasing them, but by turning them into dua and tawakkul. The solution. So what do you do when someone keeps living in your mind? The first step is simple. Don't chase it. Don't convince yourself that constant thoughts are a hidden signal from Allah. And don't build a future in your head around someone who isn't even in your life. That only makes the wound deeper. Instead, redirect it every time their name circles back. Take it straight to Allah. Turn the thought into a dua. Ya Allah, if this person is good for my deen, my life, and my son, akhirah, then bring them closer with ease. And if they're not, then remove them from my heart gently. That way, even your pain becomes worship. And remember, tawakkul isn't only prayer. It's also wisdom. That's why the Prophet ﷺ taught us to seek counsel. Talk to the people who love you, who want the best for you, and weigh their advice, prayer, and consultation together. Protect you from being blinded by your own emotions. The rest is not your burden. If it's written, Allah will open the path in ways you never imagined. And if it isn't, He will heal you and replace it with something better. Tawakkul means you don't have to carry the what-ifs anymore. You hand them back to the one who already wrote your story. So what does it truly mean when someone lives in your mind, even though there's no communication at all? In the end, it isn't a test of love, it's a test of the heart. Will you let the thought consume you, or will you hand it back to Allah with trust? Because when someone keeps appearing in your mind, it doesn't automatically mean they're meant for you. It means Allah is testing your heart to see whether you drown in the feeling or return it to Him with full faith. That is the real lesson. Your heart is never abandoned. Allah knows the names you wum. He knows the person you can't seem to forget. He knows the weight of longing you carry in secret. And He promises that nothing is ever lost with Him. If that person is written for you, Allah will bring things together in ways you could never arrange on your own. And if they're not meant for you, Allah will heal you. He will remove the ache, calm the longing, and replace it with something far better for your deen, your life, and your akhirah. Either way, you win, because whoever relies on Allah never returns empty-handed. So when the thought of them comes, don't fear it, and don't chase it. Turn it into a dua. Ya Allah, if this person is good for me, good for my heart, good for my deen, then bring them closer to me. If this touched you, write that dua in the comments. Maybe someone will say Ameen to yours, and you will say Ameen to theirs. Until then, protect your heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.